Shalom, 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 Yasha. This your boy, Brother Allah, back at you with another quick edifying video. Today's lesson is going to be called Time is Up, Eve. Time is up, Eve. All right, it's time to get in order. All right, first and foremost, I want to give all praises, honor, and glory. I want to say, call Halal Yahawah, Bahasham, Yahawashi, Bahasham, Rawchaa, Qadash. That's all praises to the Heavenly Father, whose name is Yahawah, and his only begotten Son's name, who you ignorantly call Jesus, whose name is Yahawashi. All right, and the Holy Spirit, which is the Rawchaa Qadash. Double honors to the apostles and elders of Great Millstone who have ruled well through the Spirit and have fed and edified the sheep in these last days, and has pushed this gospel and this truth to the four corners of the earth in these last days of mighty shalom. Another mighty shalom to all you Akim out there laboring on the highways and on the hedges and on the unicorn, which is this internet, pushing this 100% doctrine, this 100% truth to the four corners of the earth in these last days. A mighty shalom to you all as well. All right. Like I said, today's lesson is going to be called Time is Up, Eve. Right? Time is up. Time to get in order. All right. When I just saw this article, it's from Shine My Crown, and it says Joey Chavez vents about struggling to raise 3 kids by 3 men alone. It says, I'm tired, y'all. So it says Joey Chavez is tired, and this time she's not keeping it cute and quiet. In a recent social media post, the influencer and professional dancer gave fans a rare glimpse into her emotional exhaustion as a mom of 3. So it says Joey, who shares children with the rapper Bow Wow, hip-hop star Future, and NFL player Trayvon Diggs, vented in an unfiltered clip that has now sparked both sympathy and serious online debate. Says, I'm tired, y'all. She said, it's like having 2 kids in one thing. Having 3 is like having 10. I need a break. Joey explained that her children, 13-year-old Shay with Bow Wow, are currently with her father, but 5-year-old Hendrix with Future, and the baby Stone with Trayvon are with her, which gave her a rare moment to breathe. But even that wasn't enough to ease the mental load she was carrying. Okay, you see. It says trying to juggle motherhood and businesses has become overwhelming, she admitted. And when mocking some of the unsolicited advice she gets online, she fake cried while quoting, once you stop having them, you won't feel tired. Then snap back with good one, shut up. But while Joey, I think that's her name, Salaki, may have been venting like an overwhelmed mom, it says the internet quickly did what it does best, judge. One commenter wrote, oh, she made the same mistake 3 different times with 3 different men. This also explains why black women have more children than black men. Children are expensive, and having a father in the home is important. Another took aim at her lifestyle, saying women have babies for money, then realize it's a lot of work. All the money can't replace a husband. Others were most direct. It says you lay down with 3 different men, go to court, and get shared custody. If you're tired, sacrifice the money. It says, while critics were quick to drag her, it's not the first time Joey has faced this kind of heat. Back in October, she addressed the backlash over having 3 children by 3 different men, making it clear she didn't plan things this way. I don't go looking for nobody, okay? Let's just get that straight, she said at the time. I don't go out searching for nothing. Y'all act like I just meet these people, get pregnant, and have a baby. No, it's years of building with somebody and it doesn't work out and I'm left with a child. All right. So, this is the thing, right? Time is up, man. Right? And the scriptures talk about it. All right. The scriptures talk about, let's get it. Let's not talk about it. Let's just get it. All right. Your time is up for all this, hoopla. Okay. Matter of fact, let's get she said that she doesn't just have babies, right? But it sounds like it, right? And we got a perfect scripture for it. All right, let's just get this real quick. This is the book of Ecclesiasticus 26. And let's see. Let's start at verse number 9. It says, the whoredom of a woman may be known in her haughty looks and eyelids, right? And if you watch the video, she gave her a little sarcastic, ho, good one. You know what I mean? It says, if thy daughter be shameless, keep her straitly, lest she abuse herself through much liberty. Okay? And this is what happens, in this society. Why? Because a lot of women, they need that order. They need the order of a man, because otherwise they'll abuse themselves, right? It says, if thy daughter be shameless, keep her in straitly, lest she abuse herself through overmuch liberty. Okay. And I'm gonna come back to this, but I want to get what is that? Let me see if I can find that real quick. Let's go to 1 Timothy real quick. All right. 1 Timothy 5 and verse number 6. It says, but she that liveth in pleasure is dead while she liveth. Okay. And that's a lot of the women. Okay. They want to have pleasure. They want to have, much liberty. And what is it? It ultimately brings them to destruction. Okay. So it says, but she that liveth in pleasure is dead while she liveth. Okay. Let's go back to the book of Sirach. Right. And with this society, matter of fact, before I go there, this society is what pushes, a lot of that agenda. All right. Because this place is so out of order. Okay. This place is so much out of order. Let me see if I can remember that. It's Jeremiah 31:22. Yep. It says, how long wilt thou go about, O backsliding daughter? For Yahawah hath created a new thing in the earth. A woman shall compass a man. Okay. And we kind of talked about it at camp, right? There's things that have been switched, right? Where the women everything has been flipped on top, upside around. All right. Where, you got people talking about the black woman is God, right? Madness, right? So they really in this society have flipped everything around. Okay. So it says, how long will thou go about, O backsliding daughter? For Yahawah hath created a new thing in the earth. A woman shall compass a man. Okay. And that's what we see in this society. Okay. We see in this society that, the woman has all the rights. Okay. And with that, right, she gets all the money, she gets the children, she gets everything. All right. But you see, this is the repercussions, because now, like the people were saying, and they wasn't saying nothing bad. Like, listen, you took money over having a man in the house, and that's what a lot of women do, right? Because that's how Esau sets it up. Esau sets it up so that he'll support you as long as you don't have a man in the house, and you rolled with it, and you thought everything was going to be good because you had money. Right. But then you understood now that you don't have that support. Right. And, that's why the scriptures say, menstruous women shall bring forth monsters. All right. And you see that, man. You look out in these streets and you see, right? These women are bringing forth monsters, man. Right? Emotional men, right? Who, you know, have that effeminate emotional spirit, right? And anything crazy, they ready to shoot each other for. Okay. This is 1 Corinthians 11 verse 3. It says, but I would have you know, right? Because it said the woman shall compass a man. So at this point, everything is flipped in the order that it's really supposed to be set up in. All right. 1 Corinthians 11 and 3, it says, but I would have you know that the head of every man is Hamashiach, right? Or Yahawashi. And the head of woman is the man. And the head of Hamashiach or Yahawashi is the Most High Yahawah. Okay, so the order is really the Heavenly Father, the Most High Power, Yahawah, His Son Yahawashi, man and woman. All right, but in this society, what do they have? They put the black woman, right, or they put Eve. So you got woman, right, and then you got man. Then you have quote unquote Jesus and you have God, right? They put everything kind of backwards, okay? And you have woman trying to rule over and they trying to say that she's God, right? This is the madness. And you see the state of this society, the state of the planet, all right? Because things are not in order and not in their right order, all right? And she's talking about she's tired, right? Because what? She's been running around wild, man. Okay, so let's go back to the book of Ecclesiasticus. What's that? 26, Salakia. 26, and let's go back up here. All right, so it says. Sirach or Ecclesiasticus chapter 26 and verse 9, it says, the whoredom of a woman may be known in her haughty looks and eyelids. It says, if thy daughter be shameless, keep her in straitly, lest she abuse herself through much liberty. It says, watch over her in impudent eyes, and marvel not if she trespass against thee. It says, she will open her mouth as a thirsty traveler, when he hath found a fountain, and drink of every water near her. It says, by every hedge will she sit down and open her quiver against every arrow. All right. And I want to get this in another translation, which I believe is the GNT. It says, if she is too self-willed, be on guard and do not be surprised if she disappoints you. She will spread her legs anywhere for any man who wants her, just as a thirsty traveler would drink whatever water is available. Okay, and that's why it said, she that what is that? Let me see if I can paraphrase it. What is it? Let me see if I can. It says, but she. Let me read it. I'm reading from a different device. But she that liveth in pleasure is dead while she liveth. Okay, and that's what's happening. All right, and you see in these times, right? A lot of these women they're getting tired of being whoredoms, right? And Elder Apostle Tahar has been bringing it out about what is that? Amos 7 and verse number 17. It says, therefore thus saith Yahawah, Bahasham Shai, thy wife shall be a harlot in the city, and thy sons and thy daughters shall fall by the sword, and thy land shall be divided by line, and thou shalt die in a polluted land, and Israel shall surely go into captivity forth of his land, right? But it says thy wife shall be a harlot. And what is a harlot? A prostitute, right? What is a prostitute? A prostitute is who sleeps with men for money. Okay? Matter of fact, let me see. Let's look it up in the blue letter. Right? Let's get that real quick. Amos 7 and Salakia. Amos 7:17. Let's look it up. Right, because we're going to look up words. All right. She shall be a harlot. All right. Primitive word. It says to commit fornication, be a harlot, play a harlot. It says to be a harlot, act as a harlot, commit fornication, commit adultery, to be a cult prostitute. It says to be unfaithful, to play the harlot, right? To force into prostitution, to commit adultery, to commit fornication. Okay. And this word, Salakia, which is Zana.
Strong's H2181. Zana.
Right. And like I said, to be a harlot, to be to commit adultery, right? And that's what you see, right? A woman is only supposed to be with one man, okay? And in here, right, in this society, it has been established that, guess what, a woman, in this society, a woman she's free to do whatever she wants, right? And you see what happens in this society, right? They have multiple baby daddies, all right? Multiple baby daddies by multiple men, okay? Let's see. Go a whoring, whorish, right? Let's see, just making sure there's anything else. Okay, all right. So I just wanted to look that up. So Salakia. But yeah, so and that's what this society pushes, and that's what this society is all about at the end of the day. Okay. And when you think about it, right? Like I said, a woman, should only really be technically with one man. All right. But this society, makes it okay, and people, women get mad when, let me get this. Let's go to the book of Sirach. And Salaki, I'm not finishing my thoughts because I want to find this scripture real quick. What is it? 36. And let's go to verse number 24. Right? It says, he that getteth a wife beginneth a possession. All right? A helpmeet like unto himself. All right? A pillar of rest. Okay? And let me see something real quick. Salakia. I want to look up this possession meaning, right? It says, Sirach or Ecclesiasticus chapter 36 and verse 24, he that getteth a wife beginneth a possession, a help like unto himself, a pillar of rest. Okay? That's what a woman is supposed to bring you, right? A pillar of rest, right? And she's like a possession. And women, and people get mad at, when you say you're like a possession. But if you think about that, right? You touch somebody steps on a man's shoes, man. You got people stepping on a man's shoes and they're ready to fight, man. Right? Because that's his shoes. You got somebody, messing with a man's car, and he's ready to delete a man for that. Okay? So when you think about that, right? That's, when you think about a possession, right? A man has a possession. Hey, nobody's gonna mess with that because that's that man's. And if you mess with it, you have a problem, right? But women make it like it's oh my God, But that's what it is, right? When you think about the transaction between a father, right? And what is that? Let's go to it real quick. Salakia. Deuteronomy, was it 22? Deuteronomy 22 and let's start at verse number 13, right? Deuteronomy chapter 22, verse 13. It says, if a man take a wife and go unto her and hate her, right? And give occasion of speech against her and bring up an evil name upon her and say, I took this woman, and when I found her, when I came to her, I found her not a maid, right? Basically saying she was not a virgin. So right in the NLT it says, and publicly accuse her of shameful conduct, saying, when I married this woman, I discovered she was not a virgin, right? This is how it was supposed to be, okay? Right? When you think about a possession, when you think about, let's just put it a car, for example, okay? So you get a car and they sell that you got this car. It's a brand new car, all right? No miles on it. And then you get in it and you see that it's 40,000 miles on it, man. Beat up and everything, right? Engine tore up. The whole inside, the dang, leather seats tore up, right? You're going to be mad because that's not that wasn't the transaction that you went for, right? It says, and publicly accuses her shamefully, saying, when I married this woman, I discovered she was not a virgin. All right, let's go back to KJV. It says, then shall the father of the damsel and her mother take and bring forth the tokens of the damsel's virginity. Okay, which is what? That's why they collected that sheet, right? When you first laid down with your woman, right? That sheet, right, is that token of her virginity, right? Because, you break that hymen, right, and you have blood, right? And that blood is that token to show that she was a virgin. There was no miles on that car. Okay? You can understand. It says, then shall the father of the damsel take her mother, and it said, and take and bring forth the tokens of the damsel's virginity unto the elders of the city in the gate. And the damsel's father shall say unto the elders, I gave my daughter unto this man to wife, and he hateth her. Okay, because this was a transaction. This is a father giving away his possession to the husband. Okay, it's a transaction. All right, this is my possession. I'm giving it to you. Now it's your possession. Okay, and now you have a man who's like, nah, you gave me a lemon. It says, and lo, he have given occasions of her speech against her, saying, I found not thy daughter a maid, and yet these are the tokens of my daughter's virginity, and they shall spread the cloth before the elders of the city, right? So the parents had that. Nope, listen, this was a brand new vehicle, all right? New car smell and everything. All right, it says, then the elders of the city shall take that man and chastise him, and they shall all immerse him in hundreds of shekels of silver, and give them unto the father of the damsel, because he hath brought up an evil name upon a virgin of Israel, and she shall be his wife, and he may not put her away all his days. Okay, so you it's false, and you say, oh well, this car has 20,000 miles, and they're like, nope. Listen, the odometer is zero. All right, and if they found out, then guess what? You owe that father money. Okay, it says they must also fine him 100 pieces of silver, which he must pay to the woman's father, because he publicly accused a virgin of Israel of shame conduct. That woman will then remain the man's wife, and he may never divorce her. That's how it's supposed to be. Okay? It says, but if this thing be true, and the tokens of the virginity be not found for the damsel, right? So say if they didn't have it, they don't have any way to prove it. All right? Then guess what? It says, then they shall bring out the damsel to the door of her father's house, and the men of that city shall stone her with stones, that she die, because she have wrought folly in Israel to play the whore in her father's house. So shall thou put evil away from among you. Okay, so this was a transaction. Okay, and when you think like and that of a possession. Okay, that's why I say he that getteth a possession, and it's a pillar of rest, right? This possession is supposed to bring you rest, comfort, and joy. You're supposed to be able to, you know, this is a possession that gives back to you. Okay, but you see nowadays, right? A lot of these women, they don't bring anything to the table. All right, but what? More children and a badass attitude, right? And they can't pair bond, right? Because they've been with multiple men, right? So that DNA from them men is implanted in her, right? And they have all these spirits upon them, okay? But now they're saying they're tired, right? Because you run around and you're as a possession, you're a car and you've been driven all through the city, man, right? And this is why I say time is up, man, right? Because a lot of you are not going to in these days, right? When the men start choosing, right? You think about having a basketball team, and you have everybody on the court. They used to pick. Well, who do you want? Want this one? I want this one, right? Listen, a lot of y'all are not gonna get picked, okay? Because guess what? Your mileage is up, right? You're beat up. You know, you got all types of dents and flaws and damages, right? The engine don't run, right? It's a whole lot of stuff, man, right? Because what you wore yourself out, all right, through much liberty, all right, and that's why it says in Isaiah 32 and verse number 9, it says, "Rise up, ye women that are at ease. Hear my voice, ye careless daughters. Give ear unto my speech," right? Because a lot of you women, that women's liberation, and you thought you was good. You didn't need a man, right? And now a lot of you are seeing that you need a man, right? You wanted his money, and you thought that this money would suffice, and cover all the things. And now you see that, guess what? That money don't mean nothing, right? When your children running wild, right? When you're exhausted because it's just you, right? Because guess what? Like you put Esau in between it, and now what? That man is just a financial provider, right? Because you've taken him out, and then you don't have nothing to do with him, or even have him with your children, okay? And then what happens? So now, you have all that money, right? But you're tired, right? Because you thought you could do it by yourself. All right, you thought that you could manage, like that video that I did last week or the week before. That lady said she needs new management. She needs somebody to manage her life because she can't do it. All right, and that comes with that order. All right, because a man provides that order. All right, so it says, "Rise up, ye women that are at ease. Hear my voice, ye careless daughters." Right, time is up. It says, "Give ear unto my speech. Many days and years ye shall be troubled, ye careless women." Right? Careless, because you run around here, open your legs to everybody. Right? And then want to get on social media and complain about it. Right? And then when people call you out on it, then you get offended. Okay? So it says, "Many days and years shall you be troubled, ye careless women, for the vintage shall fail, the gathering shall not come. Tremble, ye women that are at ease, be troubled, ye careless ones. Strip you, make you bare, and gird sackcloth upon your loins." All right? Because, this is the time we're living in, right? And right now, hey, time is up. It's time to get in order, Eve. Okay? What does it say? 32 and verse 2. It says, "And a man shall be a hiding place from the wind, and a covert from the tempest," right? So basically, from destruction. A man is going to be that covering from destruction, right? But a lot of you careless women, right? Because you wanted to, run around and play the whore, right? And you think that you're good. When this Jacob's trouble and all this stuff really pops off, you're not gonna have anywhere to go, right? And you're gonna want someone to take you in, right? But guess what? You got 300,000 miles on you, right? The oil is leaking. The leather seat is ripped. It's taped together by a couple things, right? And it's no good. And guess what? Nobody's gonna want it. All right. This is the time to get yourself together, get yourself right. All right. Because guess what? When it's time to start choosing, ain't nobody is gonna want a lemon, man. Nobody's gonna want a lemon. All right. Nobody's gonna want, a car that's been dented up 3 times, man, 4 times. Okay. So it says a man shall be a hiding place from the wind, and a covert from the tempest, as rivers of water in a dry place, as the shadow of a great rock in a weary land. All right. This is what's coming. All right. So and this time is up, man. Right. It's time for you women to get yourselves together and get yourself in order before it's too late, because it's about to be a time, right? Where the order is about to get in place, and you're gonna understand that it's the man, all right, who chooses. All right. This society has everything wrong. All right. Isaiah 4:1. Isaiah chapter 4 verse 1. It says, and in that day 7 women shall take hold of one man. Why? Let's skip this real quick and we'll go back to it. Isaiah chapter 13 and verse 12 says, I will make a man more precious than fine gold, even a man than the golden wedge of Ophir. Okay? Because guess what? That men of Yahawah, Bahasham, Yahawashi, that's going to be that true covering. If you're not under that, right? Anybody who's not under the covering of a man of Yahawah, Bahasham, Yahawashi, you ass out. Right? It's done. Okay? And that's what a lot of women are going to realize, right? And it's going to be more than enough. And, it's going to be the time where men are going to be like, nope, I don't want you. Nope. Oh, nope. Yeah, I remember you. Once you're the one who said, nope, step to this. You could step over here to the left, go over there and just keep walking. Okay? This is Isaiah chapter 4, verse 1. And it says, and in that day, 7 women shall take hold of one man, saying, we will eat our own bread and wear our own apparel. Only let us be called by thy name to take away our reproach. Okay. And that 7 women is just a complete number. Okay. You could have 5 women. You could have 20 women, right? But guess what? Women, they're going to learn how to share, and they're going to learn that the man is the prize. All right. And they're going to be willing and able in that day to share a man, right? Because he's going to be that covering for them at the end of the day. All right. Let's see the comparison of it. Let's see. The G&T says, when the time comes, 7 women will grab hold of one man and say, we can feed and clothe ourselves, but please let us say you are our husband, so that we won't have to endure the shame of being unmarried. All right. The NLT says, in that day, so few men will be left that 7 women will fight for each man, saying, let us all marry you. We will provide our own food and clothing. Only let us take your name, so we won't be mocked as old maids. Okay? And that's what's coming. Okay? That's what's coming, and that's what's coming very shortly. All right? And you see it, right? A lot of you women, y'all tired, right? Because time is up, right? And it's time to get in order. All right? It's time to get in order. All right. So I just wanted to do this quick lesson. Like I said, Lord's will, this was edifying. right? But with that, I want to give all praises, honor, and glory. I want to say, Call Halal Yahawah, Bahasham, Yahawashi, Bahasham, Qadash. Peace and blessings to the elect of the 12 tribes scattered abroad. A mighty shalom to the 144,000 men. Double honors to the apostles and elders, a great millstone who have ruled well to the spirit and have fed and edified the sheep in these last days. Another mighty shalom to the rest of the elect out there. All right, and also to the elect ladies out there, those women who are already ahead of the curve and understand that they have to share, they're going to have to share men, right? And who are being pillars of rest to the men of Yahawah Bahasham Yahawashi. All right, you have to continue on, all right, and be under that covering, all right. So a mighty shalom to you all as well, all right. And with that, I'll say shalom.